Thanks as well. I want to say thanks for allowing Johnny to do the work that he does in Parliament. I take up a lot of his time, and I apologise for that. But the role he's playing is absolutely key in the development of our economic policies and how we develop and win the arguments, convince people. He's our city minister, so it may not, in the City of London, may not be the friendliest and most supportive environment for us at times. But what Johnny does is go and advocate our policies, bring people on side, and yes, involve them in the development of that policy making. That's time consuming. I'm sorry if I've robbed some of his time from the constituency, but it is absolutely fundamental work. Can I just say, I have to say though, I was a bit shocked when he returned from Christmas looking up like Tsar Alexander II. And I had to remind him what happened to the Romanovs. Also, this is a precarious position to be in, and Andrew's brought his 13-week-old grandchild. 13 days. This could scar that child for a while.
It's supposed to be the shallow chance of the exchequer. I won't be sharing this on Facebook.
And thanks for putting me aside, Angie, because she's spending the whole of my budget on education, and every time we meet there's another budgetary demand. Can I say also, it's a privilege being alongside Tom as well. The work that he did for the party and this constituency for the party Tom devoted his life to this movement and fought through some of the most difficult times for us as well, with loyalty and commitment of a real comrade. Let me just say this, we've been in Stoke this afternoon at one of our economic conferences, and the reason we're doing that is literally every other Saturday, virtually, we're holding economic conferences in individual towns talking about the local economy, developing our manifesto policies for the next election whenever it comes, but also preparing people for that election. It could come at any time. It could come at any time. We have to never work with children or animals.
Oh, it's so cute.
We think it could come at any time. Let me just deal with this Brexit issue that we're facing at the moment. Theresa May will be coming back in a couple of weeks' time, possibly with proposals that she's agreed with Europe. I don't think there'll be any substantial agreement that will convince her own side, and I think we'll be in another situation where we're negotiating in Parliament to try and get the best deal we possibly can for the economy. And we've put forward our ideas about permanent customs union, relationship with the single market that's strong, collaborative, the protection of environmental, consumer and workers' rights. And we believe that's the thing that will protect our economy for the long-term future and will respect the referendum result. Problem is that we're now in a situation which is incredibly dangerous, where Theresa May has run down the clock. We've got literally weeks before, if we don't get some agreement, we could be into a catastrophic no-deal situation which will have impact upon our economy. Some of you may have seen the news tonight about Nissan, where Nissan now is withdrawing some of its production, which could cost thousands of jobs within this area. And that's just one company. But what we're going to do is, as best we can, argue the case for a Brexit which will protect jobs and the economy. And yes, if necessary, if we have to extend the time period to enable that to happen, Article 50 will be arguing for that as well. But we desperately want now this government to recognise what it's doing to our community. It's undermining our economy, putting jobs at risk, and yes, dividing our community. Why? Because of some bizarre ideological commitment that they have. And as you know, this last 2 years by Theresa May hasn't been about negotiating with Europe. It's been about negotiating within her own party for her own survival. And as a result of that, she's put our economy at risk. I'm needing to say that because people need to know with clarity what our position is. We're trying to do our best, as I say, to protect jobs and the economy in the face of a government which is falling apart in front of our eyes. So we believe the best solution to all of this is if Parliament can't agree the deal that we're putting forward, the best solution is to have a general election. Because in a general election you'll debate the issue and the wider issues, but also you'll be able to determine the team that will then do the negotiations. So we're going to do everything we possibly can to bring that general election on, not for party advantage, because that's in the best interests of the country. It's in the best interests of every one of our communities as well. We can't go on like this. We just can't go on. It isn't just Brexit, it's every other area. We go around, we walk out of Parliament, and you go out the door that leads into the tube, and alongside that corridor, we'll tell you, there are people sleeping rough. People sleeping outside the door of Parliament. I've been there 21 years, so I've never seen that ever before, actually on our doorstep. We had a middle-aged man, relatively young in comparison to me, who died only 6 months ago, sleeping outside of Parliament. Tonight there'll be 5,000 of our fellow citizens out there in these cold temperatures, and we know last year 500 of them died as a result. That's not a civilised society, is it?
No.
That's a disgrace.
Yep.
And it's been brought about by 8 years of hard austerity. 8 years of hard austerity. So we believe I think people want to change. They want a turning point, and we're at that turning point. But it's not just about the individual policies. This is a turning point it's critical. For the last 30 years, this is the economic discussion we've been having. The last 30 years all the political thinking has been dominated by what they call neoliberalism, neoliberal economic policies. It's called trickle-down economics, where the idea is if you cut the taxes to the rich and the corporations, somehow this money will circulate down and society will prosper. We've had that experiment now. We've had that experiment particularly under the Tories. The first thing they did was cut the taxes to the corporations, cut the taxes to the rich, and cut the inheritance tax as well. And the result has been the chronic underfunding of our public services and levels of poverty that we've not seen in our society for decades, and possibly not seen since before the Second World War. So people have had enough. They've had enough, and they want change. And we want to bring about that general election so we can deliver that change. And the last general election, the people are saying to us, well, why aren't you 20 points ahead in the polls and all the rest of it? Part of that is because of the dominance of the Brexit issue. But we've said time and time again, it's like the last general election. In the last general election, when they declared the election, we were 24 points behind in the polls. And I said at that point in time, we'll win. And if we don't win, we'll draw level with the Tories at least. And everyone thought, well, what's he on?
Spinach.
Exactly. Because I said, actually, when you get into a general election campaign, legally the broadcast media are obliged to give us at least some semblance of balance. And I said then, as soon as we get that, and they see our policies, our manifesto, and they see the quality of Jeremy Corbyn, an honest, a truthful, but a strong leader as well, a principled leader, I said, as soon as that happens, we will lift in the polls. And that's exactly what happened. When we developed the manifesto, it had to be written. It was based upon discussions in forums like this and elsewhere, but it had to be written very, very quickly. We lifted 10 points in the polls within 24 hours. You probably know the story of the manifesto. We published it, we wrote it, Andrew Fisher, our policy advisor, coordinated it. We had a campaign meeting on the Thursday before we were going to launch it on the Monday. And there was myself, John Trickett, Jeremy was out in the field campaigning, and Seamus Milne, who's and Andrew Fisher. Seamus Milne had a phone call during the middle of that meeting, and he left the room. He came back in ashen-faced. He said, our manifesto's been leaked. And I put my head in my hands and used a certain tone of medieval language about what happened. I tell you, as soon as it was leaked, we got wall-to-wall coverage for the next 4 days. We shot 10 points in the polls. It was. Now, I was accused of leaking it. I didn't, but next time. What that manifesto did, and that's what we're doing.